Joel Hoover rejoining you as Bemidji and St. Cloud Tech get ready to go in this boys final. In the section final, this big showdown between St. Cloud Tech and Bemidji is underway. But you get that feeling tonight that this is going to be a titanic struggle for the section boys soccer title as these two teams meet for the first time since 2008.
JP texted us saying who wants to go to the Brainerd game, and we watched this pretty great game, honestly, between Bemidji and St. Cloud. And you just watch all the fans and everybody that's there, the whole communities in between both.
It felt like I wasn't in a high school game because there were so many people, and just like the atmosphere of it, like just thinking about going to the section final and playing there, it just feels like unreal when we went there and to watch.
And it was really good because we were like watching and experience if we could be here or not.
So when I was watching that game, like in my head I was like, whoa, like this is what it feels like to be playing in a championship game.
Kind of did feel like a big stage for us because it was St. Cloud Tech and Bemidji. And I was like, that's like kind of like nothing compared to us because they're two great teams.
Lico, who's sitting across from me after last year's section final game. We're sitting in the McDonald's with a bunch of the guys from the team, and he looks at all of us, including a lot of guys who had been at that game, thinking this is such a big stage, and he just said, guys, we're playing here next year.
It was just because of the whole environment. I was like, I want to be here. I want all our fans to be here supporting us.
Lico, like he's always like motivating the team. Like even when he got injured on the bench, like he'd be there and like telling everyone what to do, and like he's just not scared like about anything he says. Like he's just confident, and like you can hear the confidence in his voice.
And I know he wants to win, and just setting big goals like that really like made us train harder because we know it will be something that we can do.
It's good to have a person like that because it motivates everyone. Like everyone's just like, okay, like we can do it. Like if he says it like and like he really means it, like most players will like try their best because like they want that too.
Because he's the one that really said we're gonna play in Brainerd next year.
And when Lico said that at McDonald's, like in my head I was like, we can do it, but it'll just take a lot of effort from everyone, and like if we really come together as a team, like we can actually do it. Like in my head, like I had no doubt, like I had confidence that we could.
As the Vikings enter the playoffs, the fans seem to multiply with each match. But one man who has been around from the start is Abdi Farah Saliban, the father of Suhaib, Subir, and Sadiq Farah. In the past few games, Farah's voice has been a constant on the sideline.
Good control, man. That's what I need.
My dad always loved the game. He always liked to play soccer. After we're in Africa, he calls us. He's like, "Do you play soccer?" And he talks to us like if we play or if we love the game like he does.
I came here in 2010. Then I bring them 2016. They were too young. You see that picture that I posted in my Facebook? That was back in Addis Ababa. I go back to Addis Ababa 2-3 times. That was the last time I just visited them there. That was six years ago. And they were too young. Now they are same height like me. This country is the country of opportunity. Everything possible here. They love the education because of soccer. If they miss the classes too much, they're not going into the field. And that's what makes them pressure to read more always. Always. They like to read because they don't want to miss their play.
With each win, more and more fans have come alongside Abdi Farah, and the support of the team is no longer just a few voices within a sea of soccer fans. The home field has been transformed into a true advantage. Thursday afternoon, the boys pulled off a historic victory against the Alexandria Cardinals, and now, just after sundown, the boys are waiting, wanting to know who they will face in the next round.
Will there be a winner in this match tonight? Michael Dickinson looking up. Will there be a winner in regular time or extra time? Not in regular time tonight. Will there be a winning goal?
East Grand Forks and Bemidji are facing off in East Grand Forks, but the only stream available of the game is on radio. And so throughout the community, the players have been left to sit around their phones and computers and listen to the images painted by KBUN radio broadcaster Joel Hoover.
The final. Pelican Rapids needed just one period earlier today to see off Alexandria, 2-1 in overtime. It's taken 2+ here in this one to see who will join Pelican Rapids. Down the line, Dickinson galloping away, driving away to reach it. To the end line, across, it's Johnson!
2 weeks ago, when the Vikings secured the #1 seed, they assured themselves home field advantage throughout the first 3 rounds of this year's section tournament. The players' celebration over the Bemidji victory is intentional. The victory for the Lumberjacks, an ensuing trip to Pelican, revisits an idea that has fomented in the brains of Viking players for 3 seasons now. Although playing in the same conference over the past 4 years, Bemidji has only made the trip to Pelican once. Moreover, in that singular trip to Pelican Rapids in 2018, the post-game Bemidji article covering the game referred to the playing surface as a swamp.
Other teams don't like to play here because they call it the swamp. It's a great field to us, and we have a great field.
We love playing at Brownsfield. Brownsfield is our home field. Is where we started playing soccer. It's where we play as a team. Even though most people don't like it, Bemidji's and Alexandria's, those teams, even though they may not like it, they call it the swamp.
Like us having the first seed really meant a lot because we were gonna play in our field.
I wanted to play in Pelican because, wanted that home advantage, obviously, the fans, we wanted to come here, they didn't want to play in this, they said the swamp or something.
For them to call our field the swamp, like, it's funny, I'm not gonna lie, but like, it just motivated the team even more because like, we felt like we just need to beat them, like we're gonna prove them wrong.
We love playing there because we all grew up playing in the streets or not even the best fields, but the swamp is home.
We practiced there a lot, so we got used to it, but the other team doesn't know how to adjust to it. So then we take control over that, and that gives us an extra push.
It's a good feeling because like, this is our field, this is our home, like this is our domain, and like we just feel good about it.
Bemidji didn't want to do it, so then we were excited that they didn't want to do it, and we were excited that we were playing at the Brownfield.
JP and Bemidji head coach Rick Toward have tremendous respect for one another, as Toward has been a sounding board for Peter since year 1 as JP tried to sort out how to coach a game he had never played in a conference where he knew no one. However well the two have gotten along, the players on the field have not had such an agreeable relationship, and a rivalry has been brewing steadily.
Yeah, most of them played against them those 4 years. Big Seabass, and I think Little Seabass came like 3 years.
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's a rivalry, between us and Bemidji because we always get like smashed.
So ever since like the team started, like our team has gotten like destroyed by Bemidji, and like
Bemidji, they're a big school. They're a great team. They've gone to the state final. They've won section championship after section championship. They've just always been a good team, and every time we would go play over there, or they'd come here, we we'd just be scared of them, because obviously, they're such a good team, and
I still see it as a rivalry no matter how many times they beat us, just because of what they said about our field.
Bemidji previous years they were really good, beating us every year. I remember that year, they were kind of cocky about it too. When there was 7-0, they still kept talking and stuff.
Yeah, we went there, we were undefeated, and then we just lost to them, and it was just embarrassment, man. 7-0. Everybody wanted to get revenge from those 4 years, To the end, line across.
Let's go, man! You gotta go! This is the swamp! They're coming to the swamp! Yeah! Let's go! Yeah!
In 2015, when Marnie Neubauer announced to her 6th graders that there would be a soccer team to play on the following year, it was a small, quiet student named Jesus Moreno who sat most excited over the prospects for the future.
Well, at first I heard about it, and I was like, since I was small, I loved soccer, playing it. It was my thing. I loved playing with my friends.
In 6th grade, when we heard about this program, we were all like, hey, should we do it? And we were all like, yeah, let's give it a try. And so we joined, and we liked it.
When I heard it was gonna be soccer, I got excited, and all my friends told me we should just do it. So then we signed up, and the first day of practice, I was really excited to be practicing with older people.
By 8th grade, Moreno was occasionally starting for the Vikings, and each year has steadily improved.
I grew up basically with Jesus. He lives right in front of me, so when we were younger, we'd go out and play together. We'd play football, baseball, kickball, soccer.
Jesus, I've probably known him the most since I was a little kid, obviously very, very little. My mom, his family, my family are very close. I don't know where our team would be without him, honestly.
To me, he's a really good friend. I can always count on him on the field and off.
Jesus, one of my friends, we cool. We create chaos, in the field. We do it together every practice, every session we're doing, everything, we just pair up every time.
Through hard work, passion for the sport, and dedication, Jesus has become one of the most prolific players on the Vikings roster, but he is rarely noticed. While players in the previous seasons, like Alan Villagomez, have taken the accolades for most goals and assists, Jesus has quietly landed himself near the top of production each year. He is the all-time leader for Pelican Rapids with 30 career assists and has flown under the radar to become the 4th best goal scorer in program history with 20 career goals. As anticipation grows over the weekend, the weather forecast turns bleak, and the Minnesota State High School League, concerned about impending weather and field condition, moves the game from Tuesday to Wednesday, and more importantly, they move the match from the natural playing surface in Pelican Rapids to artificial turf. The game will now be at the neutral venue Viking Bank Stadium in Alexandria, Minnesota.
When I had to tell them, look, there's big storms coming and this game has gotten moved to a neutral site, they were pretty devastated. Until they realized that the allure of the swamp is that we will play you anywhere. We will play you on a dirt lot with plastic bags if that's what it takes. And so if we were gonna get to move to a neutral site, we could still play them there.
And we could play that anywhere if we needed to, in the dirt or anything.
I really wanted to play at home, but it snowed, so I'd rather play at Bemidji. I'd rather play the turf in Alexandria than play in our home, you know? Because I felt like the ball wouldn't be like, you know, it would be an ugly game, for sure.
Yeah, we were like, yeah, it was gonna happen because it's supposed to snow, and well, Bemidji was probably happy that the game got moved because they didn't have to play in their field.
If we played over here, it would have been a mess because the snow was high. But I liked if we would have played in the turf, and it would have been way better. And we had the chance to play over there, and we did. We made magic.
Today, the number 3 seed in the North, the Bemidji Lumberjacks, 5-6-1 this season, will face the number 1 seed from Section 8A in the North, the 9-2 Pelican Rapids Vikings. All this snow here in Minnesota not stopping the section playoffs. A neutral site game, despite Pelican Rapids being the quote-unquote home team for this game, taking place in this first game this afternoon on a cleared-off field here at Viking Bank Field at Alexandria High School.
In mythology, there's the story about the guy that's got to like push the boulder up the hill all the time, and it's just like the worst punishment ever. And as we arrived to the Bemidji game in Alexandria, there's snow in the bleachers, and the guys shoveling the bleachers out are the Alexandria players who we just beat in the previous round, and they're having to shovel out our bleachers like our side. And I just thought, what, like, this is pouring salt on the wound, whoever made them do this. But I went up and thanked them and talked to them, and they were like really, for how physical and how intense that game had been, they were in really good spirits about doing this. And then amazingly, they stayed and cheered on our guys wildly.
I saw a lot of Alexander players just picking up snow from the bleachers and helping our fans sit down there. That was great of them, although they lost, but that was great sportsmanship to help us out.
These two teams met last year on September 24th. Much different teams, much different season. The Bemidji boys 7-0 winners in that game. They've won all 5 meetings with Pelican Rapids since the Vikings became their own team and split off from West Otter Tail United back in 2015. First meeting back in 2016. The Lumberjacks have outscored them 21-1 in that span. And Pelican Rapids, they are the smallest in Class A in the state in terms of enrollment for public schools, going up against one of the largest in Bemidji. Pelican Rapids, they're looking at it as David versus Goliath in terms of size of school. Just a quick weather check. Here's where things stand. 29 degrees outside. It feels like it is 25.
Pelican! We are team!
As this Wednesday afternoon game kicks off with a trip to the section final on the line. A long ball out of the back by Silas Bitter, trying to find Noah Johnson up front, and it's headed away. Bogey at the other end, nodding away and able to find Josh Wright. He'll poke it wide for the overlap of Casey Hiller as he tries to find Noah Johnson on the outside. Knocked away, and now the Vikings come forward for the first time towards the edge of the 18. Ahmed gets an effort away, but that's a spinner that goes wide at the near post.
Watch the backside, Macho! Watch the backside, here it comes! Shot! Up!
Back, that's that ball we were talking about, Sal.
Step up, Macho! Step up! Step up, Lico!
As the first half progresses, it is apparent that within this match, a game of chess is breaking out between Coach Peter and Coach Howard, and both staffs have come prepared for a long night's battle.
Kadar on it! You need to pressure! We're not parking the bus! So move up the pressure! CDAS has got the back line!
In the end, the Lumberjacks trying to get that corner set up. That low corner on the ground just has not worked really well for them here in recent games. But they've continued to try to make that happen. Through the middle of the field now on the counter, Centeno playing through.
As both coaches shift their team's shape and players, even experienced soccer announcer Joel Hoover is bewildered as he tries to figure out what the Vikings are doing.
Vikings starting to shuffle the pack a little bit defensively. Kadar Aden has now moved back into the center of the defense. Played down the outside, Gladen giving chase as it's played back into the 18 to Rosilis, who has now moved onto the near side of the defense, the left-hand side of that three-man back line. And Viking midfield seems to be everywhere, and they just keep on interchanging players in that midfield. Pelican Rapids has really moved their shape around considerably here in this first half. It's been 3 at the back, but at times 4 in the midfield, 3 in the midfield, 4 up front, 3 up front. It just kind of depends what they've got going at any given time, but they love to get numbers up.
The Vikings doubled down on the mind games, running a corner that JP designed last winter specifically for this game. The corner is named Joel Hoover, after the Bemidji radio announcer.
Run, Joel Hoover!
Danny, put your jacket on so you don't lose spotty.
The Vikings have had to shuffle the pack defensively with Aden going out. They've remained pretty compact. Through the middle of the field, Kadar Ibrahim on the run, able to get past 2 challenges. Now pokes ahead. He's got a runner through the middle, and again, now Moreno fans on it. Second try, and there's McNallen on the slide to shut him down. 34th minute. 0-0 in this section semifinal. Chances at a premium right now between the number 1 seed in the North, Pelican Rapids, and the number 3 seed, Bemidji. As Gladen looks through for Pickett. Flag has stayed down. It's called to Pickett for Bemidji, but right to the goalkeeper, Rosilis, and he smothers the rebound. On it goes, toward the back post. At the edge of the 6, it bounces beyond Urbano, who had a look at it. Issei now turns Hiller, edge of the area, crosses, near post, great save, McNallen, as he bats one away on the first time effort. With 2 and 1, and time is up on the first half. That is the end of the first half, and that is halftime. No breakthrough in this Section 8A boys semifinal. Not a lot of chances either, but both teams have had looks. Pelican Rapids with the more threatening. Bemidji has found things difficult to come by on the edge of the 18, and they'll have a lot to talk about as they try to unlock the defensive door of Pelican Rapids. At the break, Bemidji 0, Pelican Rapids 0 in this boys soccer semifinal.
So the other team's good, right? Okay, you're playing really well, okay? Last year at this time against Bemidji, it was 4-0, right? You guys wanted to get on the bus and go home, okay? You guys are playing so hard right now, okay? Sometimes the goalie just makes us, like, a save that everybody's got to clap and recognize, like, wow, dude. Because it should be 1-0 right now, right? Yeah. That was a great save by him. What's the only 2 things they try and do? Long ball. Why are they playing long ball? What does that say about us? You're really good at defending, okay? Your pressure was terrible for about 8 minutes. Then I got on Kadar Aden, and a couple other guys pushed up, and then your pressure's been great ever since. You guys dominated possession once we went to that. But what are they doing right now? Do you think they're all just sitting around saying, geez, Pelican's really good? They're gonna change. They got good coaches just like we do, right? You guys the best team here today? Yes. Absolutely you are. Okay? You gotta keep believing it. You gotta shoot the ball like you're the best team, right? Shoot the ball like you're the best team. All right, hey, who's the best team here? We are! Where are we from? Pelican! 2 out of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Pelican Rapids will kick off left to right on your computer screen or radio dial. Bemidji going right to left. The second half of this semifinal underway. Down the near side, Centeno bombing forward down the right. He'll go to work here on Radio, cuts back, now to the near side of the field, opens up space, cuts back again into the area. He crosses and just misses both the back post and his runners on the back post, and it's a Bemidji throw-in.
King Kadar tries to make up for the mistake on Centeno's cross, only to come up short again.
Moreno takes his time. Now we'll play it short. Daniel Urbano back to Moreno to the edge of the area. Ibrahim misses as he fanned on one.
The adjustments from both coaches have opened the game up, and a wild back-and-forth game is now developing.
Skims one wide as he tried to steer it toward net. To Rick Howard on the Bemidji sideline as the free kick is taken fast. Bitter into the area. Bodies crashing in. It's Hiller, but right to Rosilis. But only as far as Ahmed taking over, driving on. Ahmed on the bounce, it pops wide, skim backward into the area. Dickinson brings it down, near post, Dickinson misses it wide. Right to Moreno, queuing up across, right to Bogey, who heads it clear. Ibrahim now, another look.
But while the breakneck speed intensity and physicality of the game still can't produce goals, there is a casualty.
He's got the height for those, and he took care of it. After Hiller's clearance had not been a great one. Free kick now for Bemidji, as in disbelief on that outside is Josh Urbano, as he looked like he got clattered into by Pickett, but instead he gets called for the foul. Or did he? Referee has stopped play. Urbano had been down, and actually now it was a foul on Pickett, and a little bit hobbled going off is Pedroza as he makes his way to the sideline.
As the captain is examined by the trainer, everyone in the complex is holding their breath as to the severity of his injury. Head injuries must be taken seriously, no matter how important the game.
You guys keep looking for that elbow!
Check your shoulder! No, don't get too hot!
This has become a war of attrition in the midfield after a very open 10 to 15 minutes to start the second half. Cleared by Bitter upfield. It's going to hold up for Ritchie. He's gotten past the back line, cutting back. Ritchie saved over the bar by Rosales. He'll look up and try to play forward. And there's Casey Hiller again with another decisive tackle. But his ball upfield got cut off. Vogie now takes over and plays one away. Right back to Issei. Bemidji has turned the tide, though, here in the second half. Now waits for support to arrive. He's got it from Haugen, who crosses. It's misplayed. Dickinson fans. It comes now to Hiller. Back to Casey Hiller on the effort, and he clips one over the bar.
I think now, because they're beating us, let's find those channels. They're flooding the middle.
We're gonna go base formation! Base formation! Yeah, I know. Hey!
And with the change comes the breakthrough the team has chased all night.
Raudio scuffs a clearance into the middle of the field, and it's taken on, and now Ibrahim past Harris. He's running toward goal. Ibrahim past another challenge, playing through. It's Moreno, and it's the breakthrough for Pelican Rapids. They cut them right down the middle. And Jesus Moreno has once again struck for the Vikings. He has been on the score sheet so often this season, and he is again in the semifinal. Pelican Rapids 1, Bemidji 0 in the 71st minute, and the Vikings can sense a first ever section final.
The Vikings have rarely played in a close match with the lead. As a team that desires a full gas approach to all games, they are struggling to slow down play as they look to protect the lead. Even alumni in the stands are volunteering helpful advice to slow the game down.
Take your time! Take your time! Switch the thrower!
It's now or never to get one off a set piece for the Lumberjacks. Silas Bitter to the near post. He's got Pickett there, but it's headed away in front of him as Pickett was just waiting. Ball trickles toward the touchline and is saved off the touchline by Centeno. And the subs have to wait. And that's significant for Pelican Rapids as now they win a free kick in the middle of the field as Ibrahim got his leg caught. Pelican Rapids formed as a team in 2016, just 3 wins in that first season, out in the first round of the playoffs, 5 wins the next season, ousted by Bemidji in the quarterfinal, 8 wins in 2018, but upset then in the opening round of the playoffs by Detroit Lakes, 10 wins last year, upset by Alexandria in the section quarterfinal, their first game of the playoffs, their first semifinal appearance in section play this year, and this team forged out of what used to be West Otter Tail United, with Pelican Rapids splitting off from Hillcrest to create their own team, suddenly on the brink of a first ever section final appearance and a chance to square off with the best in the South. Saturday here at Alexandria against the winner of Sartell and St. Cloud Tech. Their first ever section final. McNallen fumbles one, can't gather it. 5 seconds to go. Bemidji's run of reaching section finals has come to an end as Pelican Rapids goes to its first ever Section 8A boys soccer final. Jubilant celebrations by the Vikings on the field, and for John Peter on the sideline, a big hug for him and his coaching staff as well. In their 5th season as a boys soccer program, they will play in the Section 8A championship.
When the final whistle blew, like it was a good feeling because we beat Bemidji for like the first time ever, and then in the semifinal.
Yeah, we never believed because we lost to East Grand, and then everybody's head was like down, you know. And then we beat Hillcrest, and then there goes Alexandria, and then it was Bemidji, you know. And then we all look at each other like we are going to the final for the first time.
Going up to JP after the game, it was probably one of the best things in my life because I knew that we achieved it, and me and JP had been talking about this for pretty much a year, and just going up and just hugging him, knowing that we did it, because that's what I told him right away. We did it. We were going to the final. That was just.
When the Vikings return home, Coach Peter watches the live stream between Sartell St. Stephen and St. Cloud Tech. Tech is the defending section champions, and they appear to coast to a 1-0 victory. For the 3rd game in a row, the Vikings will face a school that is nearly 6 times their size. As the team awakens Thursday morning, more snow is falling, and the students are sent home from school early. Now, with over 12 inches of snow on the ground, any preparation for the final will need to be tomorrow.
The next day it snowed really bad and everyone had to stay home. School was canceled, so we had no practice. And then the second day came and we had to practice indoor.
When we had to go practice in the gym, like when I heard about it, it kind of sucked because like I feel like we're more comfortable on the actual field, and like we have more room, and like out there like we can like see it like clearly, like how JP wants us to do this or that.
We just did some shuffling and doing some analysis, getting ready for the game.
JP's game plans must also account for a very important player within the team who will now be missing. Lico Pedroza has entered concussion protocol. With no state tournament this year due to the pandemic, tomorrow's match is the final time the team will play regardless of the result, and this means Pedroza's season is over.
I mean, I know the concussion protocol. I've been through it, and I've had one. And when Nate said that I was done, I kind of just knew that this was my last game this year, just because how serious it was. And that really hurt because I knew I wasn't going to be able to play with these guys, with this team anymore. Your dream from a year ago is finally happening, and then you can't play, you have to sit out.
Turned out that Lico, our captain, had a head injury against Bemidji and could not play the finals against St. Cloud Tech. It was not good, but we adjusted and we played without our captain.
With Lico out, the team shifts its on-field shape and plans change in an effort to try and stop St. Cloud Tech's high-powered offense. The final touches are put on a game plan that the team hopes will help them lift the section championship trophy. JP reminds the boys that this is just another soccer game and another manageable situation.
They have holes, they have weaknesses. We're not going to fight like Godzilla, the monster dragon. We're going to play a soccer team that's very hard, right? And beatable. And you guys have to believe that. Don't look at them like, oh my God, that's such a big school. Well, that's a smaller school than Bemidji by like 10 people. Of course, I looked it up, right? Because I'm a nerd. Oh, yeah.
The next morning, as the team boards their bus, they are surprised to find it decorated, and as they leave their sleepy town, fans, friends, business owners, and work bosses come out and wave to the departing team. In a normal year, a small town like Pelican would travel en masse to a game of this magnitude, but with limited attendance due to COVID, everyone has had to settle for the online experience. But even in these conditions, more than 1,400 people will live stream the game to support the Vikings.
We got to control the things we can control. And we can't control the fact that there's no state tournament. So we have gotten as far as we can get this year. I told the guys, most years there's only one team in the state that gets to win their last game. And I said, this year we get to try and be that team, or one of those teams. And so we're, you know, there's been a lot of people that have said, well, aren't you sad that if you win you won't get a state tournament? And I said, we haven't even talked about it, because this was always kind of the assumed goal. First it was to try and win the conference because we didn't even think we'd get playoffs. And then they said, well, we're going to have section playoffs. And we said, okay, well then we're going to try and win the section. And so, you know, we're here, and now we're going to try and go do what we set out to do at the beginning of the year. And it has been a wild ride to get here, but, you know, we're focused on this and not at all thinking about what if with beyond today.
We were like more relaxed in the East Grand game. And like, we came in like realization after like the DL game that we played way better, relaxed.
Yeah, when we were warming up and came in, got off the bus, we weren't as serious as we were when we were playing East Grand at the conference final, because we learned our lesson there that we play our best when we're relaxed, when we are normal.
Pelican! We are team!
Fit that in. Pelican Rapids pushing the ball up the right sideline and giving chase there is Muhammad Ahmed on the far sideline trying to work it out in front as the Vikings set up an opportunity, and the St. Cloud Tech defense got in the way of that shot. Nice job defensively by Muhammad Omar. Press box here in Alexandria. They did it right when they built this complex for sure. Here's Abdi Isse driving one in, and it's going to be grabbed by the goalkeeper. Franco passing it back to the defense. Now it's intercepted by Tech. Rabi Ismail feeding it ahead. Foot race to the corner. Nice move down there. Here's a drive and a save by Rosilis. The Vikings, Kadar Ibrahim, he lost the ball. Tigers trying to transition up the left side. And here comes Ethan Miller. Ethan Miller coming in hard with a shot. And it's gunned in from Sebastian Rosilis, who comes up the right sideline. Vikings getting off to Muhammad Ahmed. Ahmed moving in. Ahmed passing through, and it goes all the way through.
The early stages of the game are back and forth with both teams creating opportunities.
Transition out of their defensive end. Here's a blast and a goal by the Tigers.
But late in the first half, Rabi Ismail catches a loose ball and sends a rocket to the top corner of the net, putting the Tigers ahead 1-0. Shortly after the goal, during an innocuous-looking series, Kadar Ibrahim lands awkwardly and severely sprains his ankle.
team, right? Yep. Are they good? Yep. Yeah. Get your heads out of your butts and quit yelling at each other and play the game. We're going to switch to 4-3-3 because they're still only playing with one striker right now, right? Yeah. That dude's good, right? Now, I know some of you right now are going to have to move to spots we haven't done before, right? Guess what? We started this game without any center backs on our roster that are active right now. You're playing well, guys. In spite of all those things that are going around, you're still playing well. You're playing one of the best teams in the state. 1-0. You're one of the, guess who else is one of the best teams in the state? We are, right? I haven't asked you that every day of the season because I think like, oh, hey, it's fun to say. I'm going to trick these guys into it. No, you are. For real you are. Okay? But you got to lift your chin up right now. We're down 1-0 in the section final that we want to be in to a really good team on a wonder goal. And you've had opportunities. So now let's go finish this, right? Yeah. Right? Yeah. Let's go finish this, okay? Pour all you got into it. You got 40 minutes right now to get yourself that goal you need and then get one more, okay? And if we don't get one more, we'll keep playing, right? Yeah. Who's the best team here? We are! Where are we from? Pelican! My team wants to go to the Let's go, boys. Let's go.
In the second half, Ibrahim tries to continue, but his movement is limited, and realizing he can't run, sets himself to the turf. For the second game in a row, one of the Vikings captains has succumbed to a season-ending injury. The Vikings fight on, searching for the equalizer, and while adjustments at halftime and continued shuffling of players are generating a much stronger attack, the Tigers are unbreakable, and each Viking buildup and counterattack is snuffed out at the last moment by the defending champions. Out of tactical ideas, out of experienced players available, and with just 5 minutes to play, JP plays the only card he has left, inciting the crowd to lift the players.
Cheer for your team, Pelican! Let's go, everybody!
With the crowd behind them fully, both here in the stadium and online in their homes, the Vikings come to life.
Head into the middle to Muhammad Ahmed. Ahmed trying to get it to Jesus Moreno, and the defense will get there first as Joseph Pearson plays it over the line on the near side. And Moreno will now throw the ball in from the right side. Here's Moreno playing it back from inside. Sends it into the box area, and it's off ahead of the St. Cloud Tech defender. Pelican Rapids trying to work it. Gar Odden feeding it up the south area. The defense is there again. Vikings putting tremendous pressure on. Here's Kadar Odden losing the ball to Ishmael. And Ishmael will send it deep to Ethan Miller. Here's Miller. Inside that 18. Moving toward the net.
The loss is a heavy wound, but the loss is also a singular event in a much greater story. It took a global pandemic for the movement of this sport in this community to be recognized for what was truly capable: hope, unity, and a sense of belonging. Because even in the darkest times, there is always light to see. In 2015, when the genesis of this team occurred, it was not just about a boys' team. It was about the community at large and continual progress forward. With a major push from Athletic Director Derek Nelson and JP's original assistant coach, Avery Neville, a girls' program was started in 2017, and they began playing varsity soccer in 2018, celebrating their winningest season ever during the pandemic. Prusa, the nonprofit that was founded at the same time, has steadily expanded summer youth soccer programming to include 140 kids playing the beautiful game each summer. In the spring of 2021, they expanded their programming to include an after-school program where over 75 children in grades 4 through 6 are participating with soccer. Last winter, Prusa also took over the operations of the Pelican Rapids Sunday Adult Soccer League, a 10-team league that draws participants to Pelican Rapids from all over the region. This May, plans were made for the development of the team's home stadium, Brown Field, where next year a reconfiguration of the facility will include multiple stadium bleachers, plans to add lights, and eventually locker rooms, bathrooms, and a concession stand. There is also excitement in the form of reconfiguration. The Minnesota State High School League has switched the soccer distribution from a 2-class system to a 3-class system, meaning that starting in 2021, Pelican Rapids will now play schools their own size during the playoffs. The loss to St. Cloud Tech is a difficult but singular event. But like many singular events in life, there is so much more to view when you are able to step back from the moment and the individuals and see the larger story at work. Because any story is larger than the individual people or events involved. So what does this season mean? Much of the time, sporting events at any level are forgotten by those not involved within 24 hours. Victory is the point, but it is not the purpose. Beyond the goal of winning games and developing athletes, sports help forge young men and women by developing work ethic, teaching teamwork, and giving any group of athletes common ground to stand on. Whether the participants on this team were born here or immigrated here, whether they learned to play soccer here, somewhere else, or nowhere at all, every single person on the team in some capacity has carried the weight of being an outsider, that they don't fit with the norms established by the people around them. But despite that feeling, despite differences in language, despite different religious beliefs, cultural values, and despite medical diagnosis, through this season, each person on the team found a new identity.
The one team, one family means a lot to me because, like, it says it in it, one team, one family, because we help each other out. We're always there for each other. We're like different cultures in this program, and that's what I really like about, like, we have Somalians, whites, and Mexicans, and we're always there for each other. We play with each other. We don't fight ever with each other.
It feels like home, you know, 5 years. I just got used to it.
Well, this team really is like another part of my family because we all really get along, and we all come from different places and we somehow get along really good. It's just really interesting how we do that. Like, we have a lot of things in common.
It's like my family, a lot of friends around, new people. It really helps during school to meet new friends, and well, when you have a soccer team, sometimes you don't need to make friends because you have classes with the soccer team.
Mr. Peter told us to like talk to each other and become like friends. So like I started talking to them and like it's like became easier, like more comfortable. I got more comfortable talking to other people too.
Every time I come to practice, I see my friends, my different culture friends too, and I love seeing them, I love talking to them. We have a lot of memories with each other. We play around with each other. Like, I love this team.
Like this year was pretty important this year, you know, through previous years, you know, this year felt like, you know, we accomplished a lot this year, you know, compared to recent years.
Because of the pandemic, like we were stayed home for long. This year, like everything was going bad. But then, like the soccer team, like us, we gave them like something to be excited about.
like to come watch.
This year, because we had a lot of supporters, more supporters than we ever had, and it was very excited because like we get to, we never done this ever in Pelican before. Like this is the first year going through going to 2 championships at the same year.
It means a lot, man, because we never did this before. There was a lot of seniors who have never achieved this goal, you know, and it feels pretty good.
We accomplished a lot of stuff. It was a good season too. Even if we didn't win the final, the section, even if we didn't win that, maybe next year they would. But it was still, we did amazing.
I mean, this season really shows what we can do as a team. And I mean, not just for this season or for the next season, but for the future seasons, even if I'm not here or a few guys that were a part of this season aren't. But I mean, it just shows that Pelican Rapids has really developed a great soccer team, and not just for this year, but for many more years to come.
Championships can often cause transcendent moments, but beyond that, how do athletics signal change? In a close-knit community, what does a 2020 soccer season equal in the minds of those who have felt the ripples of the soccer season played during a global pandemic?
And it surprises me when I see the stage that we are in this year. The coach never played soccer, and coaching this high stage right now, that makes me just like he can do more better than what he's doing right now. I want to see the kids. They can do better than what they are. They have the spirit to take forward, and it's good for me too. Seeing them in those fields, different fields, it gives me hope, different than mine.
Y el fútbol es bueno para ellos, ¿verdad? Y es bueno que se mantenga el equipo de fútbol en Pelican para que siga. A lo mejor al rato los hijos de Sebastián o los hijos de Alfredo van a seguir y van a decir ellos, ahí jugué yo, hijo, ¿verdad? Va a ser una historia de ellos para sus hijos.